Okay, so hey, what is going on? We're back here in at the Barndominium for a quick little update. We are pouring a slab today, as you can see behind me, and just kind of wanted to do you a quick little update video for you guys, let you know where we stood on it, and then also it's always cool to see this big equipment and stuff working, so I thought I'd show you that as well. You guys saw where we did all the spot footings the last time. We were out here and we were pouring foundations and setting form boards. As you can see, the plumbing is all in down there. You see all the PEX piping and the PVC piping sticking up out of the ground. The one thing that I kind of wanted to show you real quick was the anchor bolts set up, and just kind of how all those things go into place, just in case you ever thought to yourself, I wonder how an anchor bolt goes in. I'm going to answer that question for you today. Okay, so they're finishing up the last couple of trucks of pouring all this concrete. You can see there's the pump operator right there. It all comes through that great big hose, and one guy walks around and makes sure is responsible for pouring all the concrete into the appropriate places, as well as quantity, because if you're going to go through the expense of getting a pump truck, the last thing you want to do is shovel concrete all over the place, since you can get so precise with that thing. So there's a lot of pressure on that guy right there. And then you've got the other guys that are pulling concrete to their level lines. They've got a tripod set up out here with a laser on it, so they're making sure that they get it pretty level. And then you got your floater back there, who's once they get it close, he's coming and doing the first initial float and smoothing the top of the concrete out and making it where it's supposed to be. And then we've got Lolo, who's bent over way over there, and he's already starting to work the curbs. And everywhere we pull a form board off, he's already starting to finish that concrete, because you got to finish the face of it as well. So the next thing that they do is they go ahead and they pour all of our perimeter all the way around the house. That always gets poured first. This is what's called a monolithic slab. So you can see these rebar pieces coming up out of the foundation, the footing, and they're bent over into the slab. As you can see, he's covering it all up right here, right now. That ties the foundation to the slab, and the reason why they call it monolithically pouring, instead of doing like a stem wall pour or anything like that, is your form boards are tying all the way down in, and I better move because I'm getting ready to get splattered. But your slab is tied all the way down to the footing, versus a stem wall that's going to sit on top of the footing and the slab pours into the side of it. This is a monolithic pour, where the slab actually rolls down to the footing. So I probably just put you to sleep there, but it is what it is. So back to these are the anchor bolts. You can see they just got covered up, so maybe we'll go over here to these if I can beat him to it, and we'll show you what these are all about. These are each column location, these anchor bolts. As you can see, they made a jig, and that jig gets nailed onto my form board here. But these anchor bolts are in a special engineered pattern for every building. We have to wait for an engineer to not only engineer the bolt size, the bolt length, but also the bolt pattern. Once we have that information, we can create our jigs, and we can set all that up, and we can order our anchor bolts, which is exactly what's done here. This is just round bar that they have actually threaded to whatever the anchor bolts call for, as well as the thickness of the bar and the length of the bar. It's got a little J hook on the bottom, as you can see there, and that J hook just kind of turns 90 degrees under the concrete and just helps with, you know, obviously popping out or pulling up after this thing's poured out. So looks like we have 2 more trucks to pour out. I unfortunately can't be here that long today. I'm just coming out here to make sure everything's going good, and it is, except for the fact that we've got concrete trucks getting stuck because we had storms roll through last night. I'll show you some pretty cool pictures of that right now. And yeah, these guys are going to continue to get poured out. As you can probably tell, you can hear me now. because the pump truck has idled back down, and we're not pumping any concrete right now because we're out and the next truck is stuck. So I'm gonna get out of here. Just kind of wanted to show you, give you a little bit about what's going on with the anchor bolt setup, because you guys saw me build a barn, but we didn't do a metal engineered building, and so therefore you don't have these anchor bolt systems set up whenever you do that type of construction. But on a engineered metal building, you have these anchor bolts. One quick note, these anchor bolts are obviously set up at each column location, but we don't set up the interior column locations during the initial pour, because it's really hard to get that jig set up and level out in the middle of our slab. So what we're going to do in that application is we're going to come back and we are going to drill and epoxy those anchor bolt locations in, which is going to be very precise. And with today's construction methods and practices and sciences and technology, those epoxied anchor bolts are just as strong as if they were in the concrete, if not stronger. What we'll end up doing is drilling down. Then I've got a two-part epoxy gun made by Hilti. And we'll buy the epoxy from Hilti. We drill it down. We in the pattern that the engineered drawings from the metal building company specifies, and then we will clean the hole out really well so that there's not any concrete dust that's inhibiting the epoxy from grabbing the existing concrete. And then we will fill it with our epoxy, set our anchor bolts in it, and let that set up and harden, which takes no time at all. It happens really fast. Clean it all off, and voila, we've got our interior column lines. So we're gonna have it, I think we have 1, 2, 3, we'll have 6 of those to do, but like I said, won't be a big deal, and we'll do that. Either the metal building installers will do it, or you guys will see the Jays come out here and do it. So that's gonna be it for me. If I can find these donkeys, I'll give you a shot of the Three Musketeers, but I don't see them right now. So that's gonna be it for me. Just wanted to show you some cool, everybody likes to see cool, great big craned equipment. Those trucks right there are really only about $500,000 a piece, so it is what it is. But just wanted to show you, give you a Barndominium update, show you some cool machinery, and everybody likes to see a little bit of construction happening. You probably want to see that rather than staring at me anyway. So that's going to be it for us, and until the next video, we'll be back up on the ridge. So that's where we'll see you next time, up on the ridge.